recurrent boils, recurrent infections, and then those in Africa, in the olden days, what they used to say was if you urinate and then ants gather around your urine, because you tend to urinate a lot of sugar, so the elders in those days will see that if you urinate somewhere, you tend to get ants gather around because it's called your body is feeling sugar, glucose. Some basic things that we need to watch out for. But you see, the thing about diabetes in many people is that they may have these problems and they may not detect it if they don't go for regular checkup. And I think that's where the beauty of this program comes in. We need to learn to go for routine checkups, to go for routine screenings, to go for routine body assessments. You know, there's what we call the basal metabolic index, where you need to check your weight in relationship with your height to know if you are obese or if you're not obese. All these can contribute to you developing diabetes. Now, diabetes in itself, when you have too much sugar in your blood, it tends to make your blood a bit thicker. It tends to make you your response to infections to be a bit slower. And then this excess glucose tends to deposit in other places in the body and may cause kidney damage, may even affect the heart. And in such people, they may have heart attacks and they may not be even aware that they have heart attacks. And diabetes can predispose strokes. Back to what we were talking about, strokes, is when you're people that there are two main types of strokes. So what we call the ischemic stroke, where there's a kind of blockage of a clot, and then the hemorrhagic stroke, where there's kind of a rupture of a blood vessel. So if you have people that maybe their blood pressure is not well controlled, they may suddenly, it may suddenly cause a rupture, or if the blood vessel may have some form of what we call, maybe there's some deformities in the blood vessel itself, which we call aneurysms, where there might be weaknesses along the blood vessels. Those vessels, when the pressure increases, they can rupture. Even in some people with atherosclerosis, where there's deposition of fat within the blood vessels, those also can predispose to leading the patient to having stroke. So in plain terms, stroke is simply when the blood supply to a part of the brain is interrupted suddenly and there is now damage to the brain tissue. You understand? What that simply means is each cell in the brain is controlling one of our expressions. So all the brain cells may control movement, speech, vision, emotions, even breathing and posture. So if a particular part of the brain is damaged, for example, the part that controls speech, you notice that you have some speech impediment. If it's an area that controls maybe your left arm, you notice that you have problems with that arm. Some people might have maybe a very, what we call a mild stroke. So maybe the area of occlusion is so small and the area of damage is so small, and then they are able to there's what the brain is called neuroplasticity. The brain is able to correct or to adapt or to adjust for that. So you may see that they might be able to recover. Or maybe if the blockage was so small and the body's defense system is able to break it down, the circulation is restored, and then people will say, oh, he had the temporary stroke, he suddenly could not move his hands, his face deviated, and he got better. Those are some cases that there was a quick resolution. But with the advent of modern science, and if such people go to the hospital on time, if it's just an infarctive stroke, which is just an occlusion, we'll be able to intervene and most likely they will recover. But if the blood pressure may be so high and they don't go to the hospital on time, or they take different drugs, you understand, these things can make the condition worse. Or if it's a very large blood vessel that was blocked, you understand, it's just like having a roadblock. When you block a major road, everybody tries to follow diversions, or if the main bridge is broken, people try to follow other ways. It's the same thing too with the brain. Once the brain is deprived of nutrients, is deprived of glucose specifically, it dies. And once that happens, within minutes, it's almost irreversible. So as a doctor, we try to prevent this.
That's the word.
And
That's what I wanted to do. Prevention. What are the preventive measures for it?
Yeah, so the first way to prevent stroke is to make sure you are not hypertensive. First things first. You are not hypertensive, because hypertension goes a long way to cause a stroke. So a large amount of strokes are caused because the people are hypertensive. They stop taking their medication, or they are taking medications but have not gone for follow-up to review these medications if they are appropriate or not. Other things that occur apart from hypertension, diabetes itself, the age, growing old. Growing old actually increases your risk. Your diet, and if you're less than 50, 60, the sex too increases your risk of that. So if you eat a lot, taking a lot of alcohol, smoking, maybe you abuse substances, you take a lot of all these psychoactive substances, they can increase your risk for having a stroke if you are
diabetic.
And diabetic, I've mentioned diabetic too. They all increase your risk of stroke. And then, as in your previous topic, which you asked me about, in some people that may even have sickle cell disease too, it can increase their risk too of having stroke. And then there are also other blood disorders. People may have some form of blood disorders, what we call hemoglobinopathies. They can increase your risk of stroke. And the list is so much. But the most important thing to prevent is, one, you need to exercise. Two, you need to have a good diet. Three, you need to reduce your intake of alcohol and smoking. And then four, there's a diet rich in nuts. If you have access to antioxidants, you take them. And then lots of fruits and vegetables, and take lots of water. So this helps. You know, a lot of people we engage in sedentary lifestyle where we drive to work, we don't exercise, we sit all day, and at the end of the day, we tend to not exercise our bodies. This can also increase your risk of becoming obese and increase your risk of becoming of developing a stroke. So we need to tell ourselves and counsel ourselves that we need to work on this. And hypertension is a key factor to developing stroke and other diseases, because a stroke is like a complication of an uncontrolled hypertension. And that's why a lot of people say hypertension is a silent killer. Because when your blood pressure rises, you do not know. When your blood pressure is getting so elevated, some people say, oh, I have symptoms, oh, I have this sign, oh, I have that sign, but it doesn't occur in every case. And so you see somebody, the first time he's known to be hypertensive is when he's having a stroke. Is when he's walking and he suddenly collapses on the ground and he's rushed to the, you call the 911 or other emergency response, and they tell you, oh, this man is having a stroke. But if he was taking his medication, if he was taking his drugs, if he was doing adjusting his lifestyle, a lot of things would have been much better.
Doc, before you go on, let me just shout out to my friends in case any of them has something to say to you or anything. But let me just acknowledge my friends on that logged on Facebook. Duke Covenant, Emmanuel Isewale, Rhoda Wilson. Oh, thanks, Miss Rhoda. Young Face Frank Eguser. I'm happy you're watching and listening. Mr. William, Amanda Kaluwane, I'm glad you're watching and listening. I hope we're actually taking notes with what Doctor is saying. Helen Sunny, Tony George. Oh, Miss Chris Talk. I hope you will. I don't know if I'll be here next week, but if I will be, Chris Talk is also one of the ladies that received the awards during the International Women's Day. But she has a charity that deals with children, domestic violence and abusing children. Oh, Chris, I'm glad you're watching, you're listening to. Yukari Awachi, Charles Banks, Sonny White Senior, Justice Check. Oops, my pastor in Nigeria, Justice Chekelova. I'm glad you're watching, Pastor. Daddy, thank you very much. And if I haven't mentioned you, Mama B, I'm glad you're watching. Please, if you have any questions for Doc, he's still here with us 30 more minutes. So please ask your questions. Call on. The number is still 02034321333 or +442034321333. You can. Doc can hear you, as you can hear him clearly. Thank God you can now, because initially we had a breach of he wasn't. A few people said they couldn't hear him, but now I'm happy everyone is here listening and hearing him. He is taking us through stroke, diabetes, and high blood pressure. These are very, very harsh. I use the word harsh disease. I call it a disease. Last time I said sickle cell is not a disease, but this I call a disease because it's a #1 killer. And we have to really take precautions. When my sister passed on, I was like, oh, if she was in UK, she wouldn't have been gone. But in America, in UK, in Nigeria, stroke is stroke. We can avoid it. Like he said, check your blood sugar, make sure diet is one. I was going to get back to him. When we get back, we want him to talk us through the kind of diets that we need to stay stable. And then another thing I was going to ask, Doc, I'm sure you're still there. The other thing I was going to ask, you said age. Age is particular. Yes. The lady that came here, Miss Carol, that came here last week to talk about sickle cell, we had a conversation, she and I, and she was like, she had scouted around and she couldn't find children with diabetes. But I know in my family there's diabetes. It's not a hidden disease. It's something you acknowledge and find a treatment and all that. I have a niece that is diabetic, but I don't know I don't think she had it when she was young. So talking about age, please, Doc, when you come back, I want you to tell us the youngest you ever come across with diabetes and what precautions we need to take I know it's not avoidable. We cannot avoid it. Like you said, I used to think it was our diet. When we were home, I used to think palm oil will give you diabetes, but then I was ignorant to all that. So now I'm happy you're now talking us through, and I'm actually learning also, and I hope my listeners and my viewers are also learning from what you're saying. We're not medically inclined, but it's always good to listen when a doctor is, giving you consultation. And right now, I appreciate you. So, Doc, sorry I cut you short. You can continue, please. And what I was going to ask, the main question I was going to ask is about children and this awful disease that kills and kills and kills. I know at least 5 or 6 people that are gone due to diabetes, high blood pressure, and 3 in 1. So please, if you can go on, Doc. Sorry I had to interrupt you. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, Doctor, we're still here.
All right, thank you so much. I think I didn't get the last sentence you said.
No, I said I wanted you to talk us through
Yes, the age.
Age, yes,
Okay.
age, yeah. Because my niece that has it, I think she's about 28, 29 now. But I don't know if she had it when she was. I don't think she had it when it wasn't diagnosed when she was quite young. So, what's the youngest age that you came across with diabetes?
Well, since I don't work so much with a lot of pediatric age group, the youngest I've come across is, I think it was about 16.
Okay.
Yes, and I think I've come across with a little younger. But the most common issues with these problems, since they are not infectious, the most common problem is acceptance. So a lot of times, a lot of patients do not know that their kids have problems. They just feel, oh, this my kid is sick. He's not gaining weight. He's not doing so well. He's always sickly, and give him maybe herbs or whatever, or they don't take time to go to the doctor to properly diagnose what the problem is. A lot of people just have these problems and then they just stay somewhere and they don't believe that they are sick. And this goes even up to hypertension. I've had cases of even telling young people that you have hypertension. I've told a 16-year-old girl, you have hypertension, and you're like, no. Even 50, 60 years old people have told them, you are hypertensive, and they said, no, I can't be hypertensive. But that's just what it is. These conditions can actually be controlled if you go for checkup regularly and then do the right test. I once saw a girl, her mother was diabetic. I think she's maybe 18 years. Recently saw her. She's type 1.
Oh.
She believes... Hello?
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear that. I can, yes.
Yeah. So she's 18. She's type 1. And her mother is diabetic. And the mother is actually encouraging her on what to do and what to eat and everything. And when they came to me, the mother was a bit worried, and I said, no problem, your daughter will not do so well on oral medication because it's a type 1. She needs insulin, and the daughter has been doing well and she's doing fine. A case I had which is a problem is I saw a young man, but he got tired of giving himself insulin. And the last time I tried asking for him, I think he just got tired and he stopped giving himself. And he had a diabetic crisis and he died. So it can be that bad. A lot of people that have actually died in the suburbs or even in rural areas, they just thought that maybe it was one problem or the other, not knowing that it's diabetes that was the main issue. You understand? Because the person may not have been having fever or something, just suddenly collapses, and then if you go to a place without appropriate expertise, they will feel that it is something else. So this can be prevented if we diagnose it on time. It can be treated. And I've actually seen a young man, he's about 32, and his own diabetes. I told you that some diabetes can occur from one problem or the other.
Yes.
His own diabetes occurred because he had cancer, and so his pancreas was taken out. He had pancreatic cancer, and his pancreas was taken out. So because the pancreas is the organ that produces insulin, he now had to be on insulin injection. So he now had a secondary diabetes, but he's doing fine because he has accepted that and he's taking medications.
That's the word.
I've had a lot of people too that type 1, type 2, even in pregnancy too, they discovered they were diabetic when they were pregnant, and this has been responsible. I know a lady that I manage. She has been having stillbirths and miscarriages. And she didn't know she was diabetic. And even when she was told she was diabetic, she didn't go for any treatment. So she was having, she had like maybe 2 or 3 miscarriages and stillbirths. Because she was busting baby, but she's close to 40. She has a bouncy baby boy,
So
and
you
she's
actually
happy, and we're
can.
trying to control her blood
Sorry,
sugar.
Doc. So it can actually affect the productive organs also.
Yeah. When you get diabetes, when you are diabetic, it tends to affect the baby too. The excess sugar in your system tends to affect the babies, and with time, it can make you have a stillbirth, or can even make the baby make you miscarry if you do not take adequate care or control. So sometimes when you have somebody that is having maybe some of all these conditions, you need to just check: are you hypertensive or are you diabetic? And you'll be surprised what you find. So she is doing fine. So we talked about diet.
Yes.
Really, there's actually an established diet which you can Google. It's called the DASH diet. It's called DASH, meaning dietary approach to stop hypertension. And this emphasizes more on taking nuts, taking fruits, taking vegetables, and reducing on high cholesterol containing products. And these have been shown to help with your blood vessel to be healthier, to help your blood to be healthier, and to help you to be stronger. And this has been seen in some people to control their blood pressure. Losing weight alone reduces your blood pressure. Exercising contributes to reducing your blood pressure. And then living a healthy lifestyle too contributes to reducing your blood pressure. And it's not just when you live healthy, it affects only your blood pressure. It affects your entire organs, your entire systems. For diabetes too, you need to, a lot of people say, oh, you are diabetes, so you don't need to eat sugar. That's not correct. As I started, diabetes is a problem of carbohydrate, fat, and lipid metabolism. So the key is to eat a balanced diet. It's not to say, oh, I will not eat rice again. I want to eat only beans. I will not eat.
Sorry, let me get you right. Let me get this one right. So you're telling me if you're diabetic, you can still take sugar?
You can still take what?
Sugar.
Sugar?
Yeah.
I would say if you're diabetic, you should not take too much sugar, because when you are diabetic, if your baseline, let me explain it. The key to open your cells is the insulin.
Yes.
So if you are diabetic, you either have a problem with the key, which is insulin, or you have a problem with the lock of the door, which is the receptor. So a patient that has diabetes problem has problem with either the key or the lock. So what happens is when you eat, there's a lot of sugar in your blood. That sugar is not able to enter the cell, which is the house. So there is a lot of sugar moving in your blood that now deposits in tissues that it's not supposed to be, because the cells cannot open it. Because the insulin is what pushes the sugar into the cells. So that's why the excess sugar in the blood is now filtered off. The body tries to filter it off in the urine, and that causes the sweet urine. But this now binds to the red cells, binds to other cells, and causes more damage. So what we say is that people that have diabetes, they are hungry in the midst of plenty. So they take a lot of sugar, but this sugar is not really working in the cell. And that's where the problem is. It is not getting to the cell. So what we encourage people is, don't take foods that increase the glycemic levels. Don't take food that increase your glycemic load, that you now have so much sugar in your blood that is causing harm. So you just take foods that do not increase the sugar. So most of all these processed sugars, like and snacks, you understand, that they have sugars that are very difficult to digest. So this makes your sugar rise for a long time. So we say take more maybe simple sugars that don't make your blood sugar rise so much. So take a little salad and then reduce the quantity. Most times we recommend that you get to see a dietitian. So a dietitian will be able to recommend to you what to take. Use your local foods and mix it in the right proportion that there is a healthy balance. Because your body also needs a healthy balance of all these things to make your body strong. So what I as a physician, what I will recommend is small, frequent meals. I repeat, small, frequent meals than heavy boluses or heavy meals. So you take small, frequent meals. Of course, things like fast foods, pastries, those will take your sugar up to levels that will be high for us for it to come down. And that's not where we want. We do not want the sugar to be higher.
Any problem with chicken?
Okay.
Chicken?
Sorry?
Any problems with chicken?
Well, for most of what we recommend, we say lean meat. So chicken, your turkey, those are lean meats, and we say white meat. So we say take a little chicken without the skin, because the skin has a lot of bad cholesterol, which can block your vessels. So take a little of chicken, and some of this meat that we eat, the offals, liver, and the rest. Those are known to increase your cholesterol. Red meat, those are not so friendly. So we say take a little of lean meat. Take fish and fish products. Those still have the good oils that we're talking about, the omega-3s oils that we're talking about, and that can offer some benefits to you. So we encourage you to also take some of these products, and they will be nice for you. But for people that are dependent on sugar, although it's not my preference, there are some of all these sugar substitutes that you can see in some supermarkets or pharmacies that are over the counter that will help out. So you can actually get some of these sugar supplements that you can use, and it will be good. It will still be helpful, but most importantly, reduce the quantity of what you're eating, and you can increase the frequency of what you're eating, and that will help with diabetic patients. Also exercising too. It's usually recommended to try and get at least 10,000 steps a day. So most smartphones today have apps where you can track the number of steps you walk in a day. So if you track your steps and say, let me start with 2,000 steps a day, you increase it to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, to get to 10,000. But as I always tell my patients, you are not preparing for the Olympics. So take it a step at a time. If you can do 5 minutes today, that's fine. That's okay. Tomorrow you can do 6 minutes. But a lot of people say, oh, I need to exercise today, and then they run a mile. After running a mile today, they don't run tomorrow, and then the third day, they are complaining, oh, my back aches, my leg aches, everywhere aches, because they are not used to that. So if you can go around your house just 2 times, that's fine. You take it step by step, and then you get to probably the goal that you set for yourself. And the same too goes for weight loss. If you are trying to aim for weight loss, don't say you want to lose 10 kilograms in a month. Start with just 1 kilogram. As you grow, when you get to that one, you add another one. And with time, you discover that you have achieved this stable weight, and you did it stress-free.
Oh, Doc, it's wonderful. It's wonderful having you on air today, listening to you. I actually appreciate you accepting my call and talking us through. But these 10 minutes you still have, let me still do a little shout out. Let's listen to some music, soft music a little bit, and then I'll do a little shout out. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Doc. Appreciate that. You're still on air, Doc, yeah?
Okay.
When you hear me like moving, moving. When you give me that loving, would you give me that? Baby girl, would you give me that? Would you give me that? Would you give me and you ask me if you give me but me stuff I will give you. Appreciate it, I won't neglect it. When you get it out, I appreciate it, I won't neglect it. I will stop it. When you get it out, loving, loving, loving. When you get it out, loving, loving, loving. When you get it out, loving. When you come close and you let me talk to you, I can show you everything or two. When you like me to show you something, everything or two. I want to show you something, to show you something, to show you something, to show you. Genera, number one DJ. Die hard. I told ya, sexy DJ baby Lee. Oh yeah, yeah. And I love sexy baby, baby rempe, baby rempe. Sugar, sugar, oh. Baby rempe. I sexy baby, baby rempe, baby rempe. Sugar, sugar, oh. Baby rempe. I sexy baby, baby rempe, baby rempe. Oh yeah, yeah. Sugar, sugar, oh. A sugar, oh baby, mama shake for the rain. A baby, a sugar, oh baby, mama shake for the rain. A baby, a sugar, oh baby, mama shake for the rain. Yeah, yeah. She not because of you, I did to baby you. She not because of you.
Hello, you're still tuning Msteeq Marlene on UJR Talk Radio. We're discussing this afternoon. We're getting to the hour, almost noon. The topic today is diabetes, high blood pressure, and stroke. And with me today we have Dr. John Asekhame. Doc, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Asekhame.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Yes.
You're doing good.
Doctor is a cardiologist from Abuja, and I appreciate Doc coming on today, leaving his very, very, very busy schedule, and getting this hour, giving us an hour of his time. Doc, I really appreciate you on board. And
thank you so much.
Yes, and a few of my friends sent messages, inboxed messages, and they said if we can have you back again to talk us more on that, but then that will be discussed later on. But Doc, please, I hope if we invite you one more time to come back on board, you'll be able to come on board for us. I truly, truly appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. And
thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
And I didn't ask you how the weather in Abuja is, because here we have cloudy but very good weather, and a Good Friday. Today is being Good Friday, and happy Easter in advance, Doc. Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you so much, Msteeq.
Yes.
Hope to do this some other time.
Okay, and do you have any word for us, any advice word for us, please?
Well, excuse me, I'd just like to tell everyone that prevention is the key. So if it's the organs, the body's organs are not organs that you can easily buy from the marketplace, but if you prevent conditions from occurring in the first instance, then you will be healthy. So let's try to see our doctors, let's try to eat healthy, and let's try to exercise, and indeed we'll win over stroke, diabetes, and hypertension. Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Doctor. Thanks a lot. And stay blessed.
All right.
You're still tuned in. We're still on Urban Jazz Radio, www.urbanjazzradio.net. Facebook, Msteeq Marlene. Instagram, Mystify or Msteeq Marlene _UJR. Call us 0203-432-1333. I'll play some music and then some advert while I invite my second guest. My second special guest has been on air with us before. He's Mr. Promise Amaha, a health analyst from Abuja. We've heard from the voice of a medical expert. Now we need to hear from the health expert, health analysis, to see what, because there's a few incidents that happened in Abuja, in Nigeria recently. A girl dies, the senator dies, and all that, all relating to stroke or not taking care of ourselves, our bodies, and not checking ourselves properly. We need to check, like Doc said, we need to check ourselves. We need to check ourselves. I've lost 2 sisters through this, and thank God I'm not diabetic. But that was why I was asking about the age of diabetes. You never outgrow this age. Something can trigger it, like you said. Medication can trigger it. You can inherit it from a family member. The wrong diet actually sometimes can trigger it. So please, we need to check ourselves constantly. But until I bring back my second guest, let's play some music and then listen to some advert. You can sponsor me. You can sponsor this show, Straight Talk with Msteeq Marlene. It's not just a politics and current affairs show. If you have something that you want us, very important, you want us to talk about relating to these subjects, to politics or current affairs, bring it and we can discuss it. We can actually invite you in. If you have a business you want to market, you want to sell, you can advertise through the show. It's not expensive, but talk to me, call me, advertise through the show, and we'll take it up. I picked up this show to open our eyes in certain things, health. My next subject might be domestic violence, especially child abuse. There's so much child abuse going around in this nation and everywhere. But a particular lady I intend to bring in, Chris Talk, will see, or she has a charity that deals with domestic violence and child abuse in children. Abuse in children. But until then, let's listen to some music and then take care of yourself before I bring my next guest. Take care of yourself. I keep emphasizing on that. Take care of yourself. Listen to music and then I bring in my next guest.
I just wanna take you on the cruise. Mama lita micha, dance ya burugawa. Mama lita micha, dance ya parugawa. Oh baby, me looking so beautiful. You driving me crazy. Oh no, because but I know medical. She they kill me. Oh na na.
Quality and an eclectic vibe, with all the finest cuts and music brought to you by DJs that will keep you revived, then tune into the radio station on everyone's list and enjoy good music as it should be heard throughout your day.
Hi, this is Paul from the Money Mob Crowd Purchase Movement. We're going to be targeting the Afro-Caribbean supermarket on Saturday, the 31st of March. This is going to be at 1:30, and the address is 383 London Road, Croydon, CRO 3B. Be there for 1:30. As I said, we are going to be using collective economics to support black business. Should be quite serious. Going to be abundant cheese. It's Easter time. To come down, bring your family, let people know. Support black business. Support the Money Mob. For more details, contact 07737 080 554. Or alternatively, catch us on our social media, Money Mob 101, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Support black business. Support the money.
Evolve your Friday nightlife. Come and experience North London's newest and finest Friday night hotspot. All roads leads to Vibes Night at Funky Brown's, 5 Tottenham Lane, Hornsey, London, N8 9DJ. Guaranteed to provide you with delightful American dancers, lavish ladies and classy gentlemen all under one roof, with the hottest DJs on rotation alongside the sweetest shisha flavors. There's only really one place to start your weekend. Doors open at 9:30 p.m. Ladies free before 11 p.m. For birthday bookings and for more info, please call 074 299 02622. Vibes Night, every Friday night.
Cowrie Design, bringing to you a subtle blend of classic and contemporary fashion in a selection of evening and casual wear, along with accessories, all inspired by the African continent, with today's professional and Afropolitan woman in mind. Find us situated at Unit 29, Reliance Arcade, 455 Brixton Road. For further information, please visit www.cowriedesigns.com or call on 07507 070127. Cowrie Design, the rise of Afropolitan fashion at a price you can afford.
You have yet to look at what I find out there, out there.
Black Pages UK, fastest growing black business and talent directory. Find your local entrepreneurs, businesses, talent, events and special offers across the country. Find us at www.blackpagesuk.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Black Pages UK, the fastest growing black business and talent directory.
I heard there's a new thing out there, a directory. I heard there's a new thing out there. It's amazing.
Black Pages UK.
We've been waiting to find something for me. Whether it's me.
Yo people, I'm Sisterly Love and I'm here to tell you about a brand new show called the Nollywood Review Show on UJR Talk Radio. And it is Baby Lynn promotion and music.
News, reviews, fashion, health, fitness, celebrity guest interviews, health and beauty tips, surprise giveaways, politics,
lifestyle, beauty tips, relationship advice, health, fashion, and the hottest gossip out there in Nollywood today.
Everything to do with entertainment every Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. Stay locked.
Nollywood Review Show. Make sure you guys keep it locked. I'm a social Shisha. We'll be bringing you guys the Afro-French trap, music, dance, food, fashion, entertainment, and many, many more. Just make sure you guys keep it locked every Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. exclusively on Urban Jazz Radio. That's www.urbanjazzradio.net.
That's right. Remember, we are on UJR every Saturday. That's 7 to 9 p.m. on www.urbanjazzradio.net.
Every Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m.
Tonight I'm gonna make you feel like
Welcome back to Straight Talk with me, myself, Msteeq Marlene. You're tuning to UJR Talk Radio, urbanjazzradio.net. We're back to the second segment of the show. And our topic is still diabetes, high blood pressure, and stroke. You heard Dr. John talk us through the first hour, and I'm sure my next guest also listened while he's talked us through the first hour. But my next special guest for this hour is Mr. Promise Amaha. He was here last week, but somehow we lost the communication somehow got lost in between, and I was asked to bring him back. Mr. Promise is he's a health analyst in Abuja. He's also a co-founder and executive director for Africa for Center for Prevention of Exploitation of Women and Children. Last week we talked about cell in children and stroke in children. But